Hello, this is Chiring from Diet Gangtok. Once again, I welcome you all to All India Radio Gangtok on behalf of all my EVS textbook writing team for another session of EVS orientation. The time allotted for my talk is 40 minutes and rest 20 minutes is spare for taking your call. You all can call me in this number 03592 201171. I repeat 03592 201171. So to begin, as you all know that there are 4 themes and 13 sub-themes or chapters in EVS of class 3. So today I will be discussing on the second theme. Ra, tabaiko, your second theme is related with food and water. Last week, Bhavna and Sandhya madam had a discussion on the first theme, that was family and friends. The other 2 themes, which are clothing and shelter and travel and places, will be discussed in coming days. There are only 2 chapters under this theme, food and water. Chapter number 5, food we eat, and chapter number 6, water for everyone. The first theme, family and friends, are closely connected with child's life. As you know, mother is considered to be the first teacher of a child, then followed by other informal agencies like family and friends. And equally, the second theme, the food and water, which are also the basic human needs. So under food and water theme, the content of the chapters revolves around child daily experiences. We have contextualized, or we have been telling you that we have added local flavor like the name of the places, so it is very much connected with the child daily experiences. Orko, we have not provided so much of fact in the chapter. Rather, there is discussions on genders as well, like gharma kole khana banauncha, who cooks food, and who fetch water at home, like who brings water at home, because we feel that this is a work of only female. So still there are discussions on wastage of food and water, and even animals. We have discussed their need for water and food. The life skills, values, healthy habits have also been addressed in an integrated manner. As there is a saying, कि यो value भने चाहिँ हामीले क्लासरुममा कसैलाई यो गर त्यो गर भनेर हुँदैन रहेछ, तर लर्नर्सहरूले आफैले कट गर्नु सक्नुपर्छ. So that's why we have integrated life skills and value in our chapter. Further, it will also foster an appreciation of the interrelationship between all living organisms and their environment, and encourages children to become active agents in the conservation of the environment. A respect for cultural diversity is also addressed through the theme. You will see we have considered the different socio-cultural perspective in our theme. Even prejudices and discriminations are challenged. There are questions where children need to voice their opinion, while respect and mutual understandings are equally promoted. Hence, my dear teacher, we have followed totally hamro एउटा policy छ that is very popular, NCF को, कि we have followed integrated and thematic approach in the textbook of EVS. Now the 2 chapters that today I'm going to talk about, food we eat and water for everyone, is written in keeping in mind the sustainable goal. र यो सस्टेनेबल गोल हामीले पहिला प्रिभियस सेसनमा पनि कुरा गरेको थियो तपाईहरुलाई कि we are trying to achieve this by integration of ESD component. ESD, again I'll tell you, it is called Education for Sustainable Development. So we have not written about this topic, rather we have integrated these skills in our chapters so that we will be able to achieve those 17 sustainable goals. I will just read out again few of them, like no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, gender equality, responsible consumption, clean water, and so on. So, my dear teacher, today my discussion is divided into 2 sections. मैले 2टा सेक्सनमा यसलाई डिवाइड गरेको छु. So, first section मा we are going to do a recapitulation. And as you all know, ki tabaile as a teacher, when we end the chapter also, it's very important to do recapitulation as an assessment. And even today we will discuss in the first section that how this EVS skills, there are EVS skills which will promote to achieve this ESD competencies. It means ki your EVS skills is connected with the ESD competency. So first, let's recapitulate the need of education for sustainable development components in our textbook. So again, if we all recall, मैले अगाडि तपाईको ESD को competencies-हरुलाई चाहिँ हामीले chapters-मा integrate गरेर भनेको थियो र even हाम्रो अस्तिको last session-मा Sandhya madam was also focusing on this ESD, even Bhavna ma'am. So there are 11 ESD competencies. I'll not read out all of them, like acquiring knowledge, thinking critically, these are all the skills highlighted by UNESCO, and we have integrated in our textbook. Now, what is the reason? There should be a reason, and we have discussed some of them, but again, let's recall. So number one reason, again, as I said in my previous session, is because of the fact that our environment and ecology is at the brink of collapse, already endangering thousands of species and human population. र यही कन्टेक्स्टमा I was watching one of the program in National Geography, एउटा National Geography मा, र त्यहाँनिर साइन्टिस्टहरूले चाहिँ प्रिडिक्ट गरेको रहेछ कि 2017, by 2017 all the ice will melt, Earth will become very hot, and you just imagine this huge global crisis. And one such example, as I said earlier also, the recent outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, and how all the world is suffering. So this is all due to the destructive nature of our society, which is deeply rooted in human psyche. Therefore, countering this inert attitude can be possible if we start ESD at the very early stage. So हामीले यो ESD भन्ने components चाहिँ सानोदेखि नै नानीहरूलाई चाहिँ we have to infuse during their formative years only. Another reason of ESD integration is to prepare our student to develop strong life skill as well as soft skills, which will ensure productive, collaborative, and healthy work environment in any kind of workplace beside their credential. For example, भोलिको दिनमा if कोही नानीलाई job interview जानु छ रे भन्यो भने it is not only the credential भनेको तपाईको not only the certificate or the academic qualification, but an individual equally needs to have the soft skill. र soft skills भनेको it's related with the ESD competencies only, like leadership, एउटा teamwork, कुनै organizationमा you cannot work in isolation. You need to work with the group. र सल्लाह गरेर हैन र communication, a person needs to have a very good communication. So keeping all this thing, we have integrated ESD in our chapter. Another reason, this is third reason, another reason for integration of ESD in our EVS chapters have promoted double purpose learning, which promote for achieving the learning outcome of NCERT. So we are not burdening the chapters by embedding ESD competency. Actually, both ESD components and learning outcomes are same side of the coins. So further, I will be discussing about this while I will be dealing with my chapters food and water. र तपाईले टिचर्सहरुले यस्तो नसोचिदिनुस् कि तपाईलाई ESD competency भन्दैछ, LO पनि भन्दैछ भनेर, र chaptersमा there are so many things we have to tell. तर this ESD learning outcomes is, as I said, is promoting the double purpose learning. They are helping each other, and they are the same side of the coins. They are not different. So now let me inform you all that what are the expected role. Now when you have this ESD competencies in the textbook, so what is the expected role of the teacher and student as per our new textbook? So as I said, this time in our chapters, we have not burdened with facts and information for rote memorization. तपाईको रट्ने, पढ्ने, भोलि यसको definition पढ्नु अरे, यसको classification पढ्नु भनेर, and then student have to उहाँले exam they have to write it ditto like that, not like that, rather connected with the child's experiences and environment. Hence, I would request teacher to kindly discourage rote memorization and encourage experiential or action-oriented learning among students. So, there are enough activities, opportunities for students to do thinking over thinking or learning over learning in order to develop such skills or competencies. So, the expected role of teacher. So, what is the expected role of the teacher is to act as a catalyst, right? Catalyst josto, mediators josto, and the role of the student is shifted from passive to active participant. So, inside the classroom, the student needs to be very active while dealing with any chapters or while dealing with our EVS textbook inside the classroom. As I said, all these activities revolves around childको experiences सिधा related छ है कुनै कुरा हामीले facts सिधा related गरेको छैन. First we are starting with some kind of stories हैन र in this case teacher needs to be flexible and patient towards students responses. Here I would like to connect with National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education 2010, which points out that towards professional and humane teacher, that teacher hunuko lagi, it is not only the mastery over the content, that equally teacher needs to have humane values. ह्युमेन भ्याल्यु भनेको चाहिँ तपाईको हामीले खाली पढाएर है पेडागोजी मात्रै जानेर हुँदैन. इक्वली यो टेक्स्ट बुकलाई पनि डिल गर्दा तपाईले अलिकति लभ एन्ड कन्सर्न, एफेक्सन है, एम्पथी नानीहरूलाई देखाउनु पर्छ. र चिल्ड्रेन शुड बी अलाउड टु कमिट मिस्टेक है. मिस्टेक गर्नुको लागि नानीलाई कहिले तपाईले गाली नगर्दिनुहोस् है. यसलाई एकदमै मिस्टेकहरूलाई अलाउ गर्नु लगाउनुहोस् क्लासमा. र कुनै क्वेशन्सको लागि तपाईले यु शुड नट ह्याभ प्री डिटरमाइन्ड एन्सर कि प्रिस्क्रिप्टिभ कि पहिलाको जस्तो यसको एन्सर चाहिँ यो हुनुपर्छ है भनेर त्यस्तो कहीँनिर जग्गा छैन. र देयर शुड बी ओपननेस इन द क्लासरुम है. र ओपननेस छ भने चाहिँ लर्निङ विल अकर. बिकज वेन एभर द क्लासरुम तपाईँको एकदमै थ्रेटनिङ भइरहेको छ, डरलाग्दो भइरहेको छ भने चाहिँ नानी चिल्ड्रेन्स विल नट बी अलाउड टु लर्न. बट वेन यु किप यर क्लासरुम ओपन हैन, ओपन भनेको डायलग गर्नुहोस् र देयर आर इनफ एक्टिभिटी वेयर यु निड टु युज डायलग एज एन पेडागोजी इन यर क्लासरुम. So with this, I have just given you background of ESD competencies and expected role. Now I'll talk about what are these EVS skills and how it promote to achieve the ESD competencies. So now let's relate with English है. र English पढ्नेको तपाईको पढिसकेर नानीले certain skillsहरु acquire गर्नुपर्छ. त्यो तपाईले I think you have heard many times in many training. And those skills are reading, writing, speaking. है. So in the same way, हाम्रो EVS मा पनि after learning those chapters, after learning those content, children have to acquire 10 EVS skills. And for this, my dear teacher, you can again refer to page number 172 to 177 under teacher page, which needs to be developed among student. है. र theme wise, तपाईको chapter wise, त्यहाँनिर तपाईको discuss गरेको छ. So first, I will discuss this EVS skill. As there are 10 EVS skills, I will give one example, maybe in a very brief way, so that I can later on cover this 2 chapters in a brief. Food we eat and water for everyone. So starting with the first skill. So the skills the child needs to develop is number 1, observation and reporting. And under this, a child can report, either narrate, either they can do drawing, picture reading, they can make tables. So there are enough activity inside this chapter. Second EVS skills is discussion. र discussion को लागि listening, talking, expressing opinion, है, finding out from the others. र तपाईले chapter मा यसको icons पनि पाउनुहुन्छ. र icons को लागि अगाडिकै front page book को front pages तिर we have written what is the significance of this icons. And even there are activity like talking with elders. Talking with elders भनेको it will develop discussion skill among children. Then I'll come to other like expressions छ तपाईको है, number 3, number 4 छ explanation. नम्बर 5 छ क्लासिफिकेसन है ल क्लासिफिकेसन बेसमा हाम्रो फुड भन्ने च्याप्टरमा one of the activity is there where children have to classify food item into raw and cooked. So this activity will be mapping with classification skill. In the same way, 6 skills is questioning, that children should be expressing curiosity, critical thinking and developing questions. र त्यसको लागि पनि तपाईको आइकन्सहरु छ find out. So we have not repeated write, find out, rather you have to see the icons in the chapter. Analysis is there, like analysis is number 7 EVS skills है त्यस्तै प्रकारले तपाईको 8 नम्बरमा छ experimentation. Raw experimentation, so many hands-on experiences are there for the children in chapter called water for everyone. How much can a bottle can hold? And I'm coming to the number 9 EVS skill, which is concern for justice and equality. This is very important skill, that they should be sensible to other things like plant, elderly people, animals and all those, because this is one of the aims and objective of teaching EVS as well. And the third EVS skill is a cooperation. Cooperations, like children have to do many activity in group, and there are icons also like working together, and there are certain questions in the textbook in the chapter. Do other members of your family help in cooking and cleaning the home? So like this, there are 10 EVS skills, and these 10 EVS skills are integrated in our chapters. Now, how these EVS skills are related with ESD competencies? है अब यहाँ स्किल पनि भन्दैछ, अर्को साइडमा फेरि कम्पिटेन्सी पनि भन्दैछ भनेर. So I wanted to make my dear teacher clear that by giving one example only. है र तपाईको ESD को एउटा कम्पिटेन्सी I have selected, thinking critically. यो thinking critically को लागि तपाईको in order to develop this competency, it will require set of skills. र यो स्किल्सहरु चाहिँ तपाईको EVS skills बाट आउँछ. Like for example, observation, analysis, inferences and questioning. र कम्पिटेन्सी अक्वायर गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ नानीहरुलाई रिपिटेड यो स्किल्स बेस्ड एक्सपीरियन्सेसहरु they will need. As famous Indian yogi Sadhguruji have pointed that to be competitive, build your competency. If you are incompetent, you will feel stress and lack confidence. So I have just discussed the double purpose learning of ESD, learning outcome and EVS skills, and teachers should note that we are not broadening the chapters but discuss chapter holistically and critically so that the child can make informed choices for sustainable transformation tomorrow. So I'm done with section 1. Now I will discuss section 2. Tabiko, under section 2, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss in brief the 2 chapters under this theme, that is chapter number 5, food we eat, and chapter number 6, water for everyone. Now that we have talked about how close LO, EVS skills and ESD components are, now we will talk about the objective, the learning outcome of each chapter with some example. So to begin, first let's talk about food we eat chapter at page number 58. यो chapter तपाईको chapter number 5 हो र page number 58 मा छ. र I would like to read one line to show the connection of this chapter with the sustainable issue. Duita line I would like to read. Someone is dying for the food and you are throwing away. And today's waste is tomorrow shortages. As you know, the sustainable goal, no poverty, zero hunger. Some places have enough food, but in other places, people do not have access to single day meal. So keeping this in mind, the content of the chapters are like the food preferences of different people, different food items, cooking processes are discussed gareko cha, eating together, right? Who eat first, who eat last, all those things are there, and food in terms of animals and wastage of food. And the reason, the objective of this lesson are to make students sensitive. Another one, to recognize that we take different plants and animals for food. To be sensitive to inequalities in the practices of cooking and eating. Here it comes the integrated, like यसलाई साइन्सको प्रकारले हामीले हेरेको छैन यो च्याप्टरलाई, यसमा हामीले इनइक्वालिटीको पनि कुरा गरेको छ, which is social science. And likewise to realize that animals too depend on plants and other animals for food. And there are 4 learning outcomes which has been targeted through this chapter. As I said, there are 15, right? Class 3 ko lagi tapaiko 15 learning outcomes cha, tara yo chapter ko lagi there are 4 learning outcome. I will just be reading the action verb, the key learning indicator. Number 1 is identifies vessels and all those. Number 2, describe the need for food for people. Third ko heर्नुहोस् voices opinion. Fourth ko छ shows sensitivity for plants, animals and elderly, differently able. र यो 4टा learning outcome लाई हामीले यहाँनिर include गरेको छ. र as I said, in the learning outcome तपाईले हेर्दाखेरि please look into the action verb like identifies, है, describe, sensitivity, voices opinion. र यो action verb ले हामीलाई lesson र assessment हरु तपाईको design गर्नु help गराउँछ. र if you see the learning outcome, as I said, it is moving from simple to complex, from cognitive, affective and psychomotor skill. So when you look into the chapter starts with the subtopic food I ate last night. It is there in page number 58 and 59, followed by activity. So as a teacher, है, हामीले एकैचोटी कुनै chapter start गर्दाखेरि we should not jump into the subtopic. Rather, we should do some kind of brainstorming. Brainstorming भनेको चाहिँ तपाईको एउटा सानो कुरा लिएर जस्तो फुडको कुरा लिएर डिस्कसन गर्नु पर्यो क्लासरुममा, so that children will give more idea. You can ask questions like who cooks food, what kind of food you eat, all those things, and after connecting you can come back and you can start your lesson. So when you look into this lesson, food I eat last night, it starts with the dialogue between different students or children coming from different background talking about what kind of food they ate last night. So here a teacher can do a role play also, that you can assign this role to the student and enact in the classroom, which can be one of the suggestive pedagogy. So when you see that there are activity followed by this, and one character is there, Kiran. Last time also I said it talks about sustainable issues. Now the ESD competencies which are going to be fulfilled from this content or subtopic are acquiring knowledge, finding answer to question, then solving issue, like issue related with hunger, then communicating and negotiating is there, reflecting on values, that you should not be biased, you should not have your own norms, rather you should respect the food of other people also. Then changing perspective, empathy, एकदमै empathize गर्नु सक्छ, र thinking and active inclusively. So when you see all this, now I'm saying again, LOs is there in the chapter, sustainable issues is there in the chapter. You should not take it separately, and you should not think that we are burdening the chapter. Rather, they are supplementing and complementing each other, and they are related. It means तपाईको त्यो activity को questions हरुले चाहिँ it is mapping with the learning outcome, it is mapping with the ESD competencies, and as well as the skills of EVS. Like skills, as I said, there are 10. I will not be discussing all of that again, but you will see skills like analysis, concern for justice and equality. All those are mapping with this activity. And teacher needs to see the teacher note to support the teaching learning. Every pages there are teacher note, and teacher note saying your teacher लाई तपाईको अझै teaching learning लाई plan गर्नुको लागि एउटा त्यहाँ suggest गरेको छ. र assessment is going again, it is going inbuilt. It is not doing separately. As I said, after completing a chapter, assessment doesn't come at the end. Everywhere you see assessment begins from the beginning. So the chapter will continue with the narrative of a character called Nimkit, who lives with her aunt in Mangan, and aunt has a 6-year-old dolma and all of this, and they go to the market, they buy vegetable. Now I will like to talk about this subtopic called cooking in a family. Under cooking in a family, यहाँ एउटा activity छ जहाँ चाहिँ नानीले children have to fill up the table and write the name of the vessel and the cooking process. And this activity is mapped with the learning outcome, identifies and even the skills like discussion को आइकनहरु पनि छ तपाईले हेर्नुहोस् है राम्रोसित यो पेजलाई बुकमा र तपाईको एउटा असेसमेन्ट पनि गराएको छ एउटा वर्ड ग्रीट भन्ने छ त्यहाँनिर तपाईको एट पेज नम्बर 65 to find the foods eaten cooked and uncooked र यसले स्किल्स अफ क्लासिफिकेसन लाई पनि एसेस गराउँछ and यो तपाईको एक्टिभिटी एउटा देख्नुहुन्छ कि टकिङ टु द एल्डर्स र टकिङ टु द एल्डर्स डज नट मिन ओन्ली टु कलेक्ट इन्फर्मेसन मात्रै कलेक्ट गरेर लिएर आउनु है नानीहरू भनेर होइन बट अल्सो गेट द अपर्च्युनिटी टु डेभलप डिस्कसन्स एन्ड क्वेसनिङ स्किल्स अमङ चिल्ड्रेन र another very interesting thing is about kinema है किनेमा तपाईको गुन्द्रुकको बारेमा पनि छ प्रोसेस अफ मेकिङ गुन्द्रुक देन यस्तो खालको कुरा एज आई सेड वी हैव टु टक वी हैव टु हाइलाइट बिकज इट नीड्स टु बी प्रिजर्भ practice and protected and for the teacher can go beyond the from the activity whatever we have given you can give them list the different means of preservation of food beside gundruk and kinema they can talk about different food items and then followed by this eating together narrative about nimkit and then it will continue that over there aunt gives nimkit her leftover rice at last night when nimkit is not at home her aunt throws leftover food in dustbin अब यो कुराले चाहिँ तपाईको सस्टेनेबल इश्युलाई साइलेन्टली डिस्कस गरेको छ र इभन द जेन्डर रोल्स आर देयर आर क्वेसन्स बेस्ड अन दिस एन्ड आई वुड लाइक टु टक दिस कम्पिटेन्सी विच आर गोइङ टु बी डेभलप लाइक थिङ्किङ क्रिटिकली है द क्वेसन्स आर आस्क्ड टु द चिल्ड्रेन लाइक वाइ डु यु थिङ्क निम्कित इज गेटिङ लेफ्ट ओभर फुड एन्ड नट फ्रेशली कुक्ड फुड And again, there is another competencies like showing solidarity and responsibility, like ability to help and work together. So, do other members of your family help in cooking and cleaning the home? So, such kind of questions are asked to the child. Finally, towards the end, there is a talk on the subtopic, food for animals and wastage of food. This is very important. So, under subtopic, food for animals, there is a narration again nimkit ko village ko barema zongu hai ra zongu ma you know that nothing is wasted leftover food are given to cattle sometimes it's very very common and very we see in the newspaper ki hamro yani bears haru visit bhalu le visit gareko and then the recent thing you have heard about bhalu visiting Gangtok as well and they eat maize. And there is another subtopic about midday meal, and there is one character again added in this story, Lakpa. Lakpa there is a line, waits for the lunch to have midday meal as he is a poor fellow and comes to school without food. So it will lead to LO like voicing opinion, then wastage of food, and so sensitivity towards Lakpa, so sensitivity towards animal. Why are they coming to human settlement, human animals conflict? Then target it with ESD competencies like dealing with the system that children should be able to analyze why this wild animals are coming to the human settlement and even the skills of EVS as I said and not to remember the inbuilt assessment is going hand to hand. So, teacher further, as a teacher, you should not confine to the textbook. You can share the newspaper clip with the children. अब बस्तीतिर त possible हुँदैन होला, but it is just a suggestive, right? कि you can discuss about why the bears are wandering from forest to town and further discuss the reason in the classroom. So, I would like to remind our teacher that LO ESD र यो skills of EVS हरु चाहिँ burden भनेर नसोच्नुहोस् र they are supplementing and complementing each other. So with this I end my talk on chapter food we eat. We will go for a short break and after coming back I'll talk about the last chapter, second chapter number 6, water for everyone.
श्रोता वर्गलाई म भीम ठटाल डाइरेक्टर प्राइमेरी एजुकेसन अनि समग्र शिक्षा डाइरेक्टरको तर्फबाट नमस्कार. एससीईआरटी अनि समग्र शिक्षाद्वारा तयार पारिएको प्राइमेरी स्कुलको लागि जुन टेक्स्टबुक छ त्यो तयार भएर आइसकेको छ तर यो नयाँ टेक्स्टबुकलाई पढाउनका लागि शिक्षक शिक्षिकाहरूले प्रशिक्षण लिनु अनिवार्य छ. अहिले लकडाउनको समयमा कुनै एक ठाउँ भेला भएर ट्रेनिङ दिन सम्भव नभएकोले गर्दाखेरि हामीले यो ट्रेनिङ आकाशवाणीको गान्तोक केन्द्र मार्फत प्रसारित गरिरहेका छौं. प्रत्येक सोमबार, बुधबार अनि शुक्रबार दिउँसो 12 बजेदेखि यो ट्रेनिङ कार्यक्रम आकाशवाणी गान्तोकबाट प्रसारण गरिनेछ. यस कार्यक्रमलाई अस्ति चाहिँ हामीले प्राइमेरी टिचरहरूको लागि मात्र राखेका थियौँ, तर अब यो कार्यक्रम हामीले प्राइमेरी टिचरलाई मात्र नभएर चाहिँ सबै स्कुलका हेडमास्टरहरूलाई, ब्लक रिसोर्स सेन्टर कोअर्डिनेटर, क्लस्टर रिसोर्स सेन्टर कोअर्डिनेटर, एसिस्टेन्ट एजुकेसन अफिसर, एसिस्टेन्ट डाइरेक्टर, डेपुटी डाइरेक्टर सबैले यो ट्रेनिङ गर्न अनिवार्य रहेको छ। त्यसर्थ यहाँहरूलाई यो ट्रेनिङ अनिवार्य रूपमा गरिदिनु हुन हामी निवेदन गर्दछौँ। स्मरण रहोस्, यस विषयमा अब अन्य कुनै ट्रेनिङ गरिने छैन, त्यसर्थ रेडियो मार्फतै यो जुन ट्रेनिङको प्रसारण भइरहेको छ यसैलाई नै तपाईँहरूले सुन्नुहुन हामी निवेदन गर्दछौँ।
Okay, welcome back after this break. So I've just discussed the chapter number 6, food we eat. Now I will discuss about the second chapter. That is chapter number 6, water for everyone. So once again, my dear teacher, I would like to share the line which will bring a connection of this chapter with sustainable goals. है सर तपाईले सुनिराखेको लाइन हो यो, तर मैले अलिकति लास्टको वर्डमा चाहिँ लोकल फ्लेभर एड गरेको छु। सो हियर गोज द लाइन, यु नेभर नो द वर्थ अफ वाटर अन्टिल द धारा रन्स ड्राई। सो धारा, यो धाराको जग्गामा पहिला वेल थियो र मैले यसलाई लोकल फ्लेभर एड गरिदिएको छु। सो नाउ दिस इज एभ्री वान एक्सपिरियन्सेस आई बिलिभ कि घरमा वाटर प्रब्लम हुँदाखेरि वेयर डु वी गो टु फेच द वाटर। देन वी अन द्याट डे वी रियलाइज, त्यो दिन मात्रै हामीलाई रियलाइज हुन्छ कि द रियल इम्पोर्टेन्स अफ द वाटर। सो किपिङ दिस एज अ ब्याकग्राउन्ड, द कन्टेन्ट अफ द च्याप्टर्स आर, है हामीले यो च्याप्टर्समा वाटर एज एन एसेन्सियल रिसोर्स भनेर डिस्कस गरेको छ। देन need by plants, animals and humans, and inequalities in sharing of water, its wastage and optimal use. We have also contextualized the sources of water like dhara bhanera, त्यहाँदेखि अरू कुराहरू पनि गरेको छ। इभन ल्यान्डस्लाइडको बारेमा कुरा छ। And uses of bamboo, this indigenous practice of people collecting water or storing by using bamboo. And the objective of these chapters are, number one, to find out where we get water from for use in the family, the school, observe the ways of storing it. Second ko cha tapaiko to reflect on inequality in access to water in general and to safe drinking water. Ra third ko cha tapaiko to be sensitive to the fact that water is needed by plants and animals and should be used carefully. So you will see that there is integrated and thematic approach followed. Integrated, if you see there is inequality, we will have a discussions on inequality in access to water from rural as well as urban setup. As you know, हाम्रो students they are coming from different backgrounds, so keeping all this thing, हामीले chapters तपाईको narrative मा stories rural को पनि छ, urban को पनि छ, र inequalities like do you get water, who fetch water when you have water problems. So such kind of discussions are also there. There are 6 learning outcome, है एभ्री च्याप्टर्समा हामीले लर्निङ आउटकमबाट स्टार्ट गरेको छ र यसमा हामीले 6 वटा लर्निङ आउटकमलाई टार्गेट गरेको छ। सो नम्बर 1 इज आइडेन्टिफाइज डिफरेन्ट भेसल फर स्टोरिङ वाटर, नम्बर 2 इज डिस्क्राइब द अवेलेबिलिटी अफ वाटर, number 3 is guesses properties and estimate quantities, number 4 create a poster, slogans, poems or etc. Then number 5 is voicing opinion, and number 6 is sensitivity. So again, my dear teacher, in this learning outcome, the most important thing is the action verb. And if you see the action verb, again, it's moving from simple to complex, ranging from head, heart, and hand, which is also called cognitive, tapaiko affective पनि भन्छ, र third मा psychomotor skill. So as I said in my earlier food we eat chapter, so you should not jump into the content, है हामीले as a teacher तपाईले गर्नु हुँदैछ कि हामीले some kind of activity, some kind of brainstorming or ice breaking activity you can call it, तपाईले गर्नु सक्नुहुन्छ। र यो गर्नुको मकसद चाहिँ नानीहरुलाई एकैचोटी पढौं है भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिक बोरिङ हुन्छ। So if you do some kind of discussion, talk, just like मैले अगाडि भनेको थियो, teacher needs to be a catalyst and equally mediator जस्तो, त्यस्तै प्रकारले तपाईले यहाँनिर डिस्कसन गर्नु सक्नुहुन्छ, brainstorming like do you get water at your home, where do you get, who brings water, all those things related with the water. Again, you can add like singing singing folk song on water, जस्तो हाम्रो एकदमै पपुलर गानाहरू छ पानी लिएर है पानी पर्योदेखि लिएर you can talk from different community as well. So it will encourage student to arouse curiosity and interest, which is also one of the major objective of teaching EVS. र यो च्याप्टरमा तपाईको यो च्याप्टर स्टार्ट हुन्छ डोमा भन्ने क्यारेक्टरदेखि र डोमा स्टोरी भनेर पेज नम्बर 74 मा र डोमाको चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ अर्बन भनेको ग्याङटोकको कुरा गरेको छ सो फलोड बाइ एक्टिभिटीज सो द स्टोरी इज लाइक डोमा लिभ्स इन ग्याङटोक इन रेन्टेड हाउस एन्ड शेयर्स हर एक्सपिरियन्स अफ वाटर प्रब्लम ड्युरिङ टुरिस्ट सिजन and she also shares her experience of standing in queue to bring water from nearby Dhara, where she gets less water at home. So she has discussed about the sources like tap and bamboo pipes, followed by activity in page number 76 and 77. Now, all this activity is mapped with ESD, it's mapped with skill of EVS, it is mapped with learning outcome. So here ESD competency ko kura garda there is acquiring knowledge, right? त्यस्तो प्रकारले thinking critically is analysis of the fact and then the student should be able to pass a judgment or response like questions haru cha त्यस्तै है. What are the other ways for making water safe to drink at home? In a same way solving issues haru cha तपाईको ल्यान्डस्लाइड घरमा ल्यान्डस्लाइड हुँदाखेरि प्रब्लम हुँदा लोकल एरियाले कसरी प्रब्लम ह्यान्डल गर्छ भनेर क्वेशन छ. त्यस्तो प्रकारले कम्युनिकेटिङ एन्ड नेगोसिएटिङ चेन्जिङ पर्सपेक्टिभ इज देयर एम्पथाइजिङ विथ द डोमा स्टोरी हैन किनभने ग्याङटोकमा देयर आर सम प्लेसेस वेयर दे हेभ इनफ एक्सेस टु वाटर बट इन सम प्लेसेस दे हेभ सर्टेजेस अफ वाटर. देन स्किल अफ EVS आर अल्सो टार्गेटेड wherein you have observation like explanation and analysis. So for discussion skill again there are icons and when you see the assessment there is a fill in the blanks on chart where children have to fill and water used at home for different things. यहाँनिर तपाईको explanation, expression, classification भन्ने स्किल्सहरु तपाईको नानीको हामीले एसेस गर्नु सक्छ. So, yanira, I would like to talk about another subtopic that how much can a bottle hold? Ra, यहाँ चाहिँ टिचरले एउटा ठुलो बिग बोतल ल्याउनु पर्छ र चिल्ड्रनले सानो सानो अरु आइटम्सहरु लिएर आउँछ र दे हैव टु फिल द टिचर्स बोतल. सो यो एक्टिभिटीले चाहिँ तपाईको यो एकदमै एक्सपेरिमेन्टेसन जुन चाहिँ EVS को ह्यान्ड्स अन एक्सपिरियन्सेसको तपाईको स्किललाई म्याप गरेको छ र एलो भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट एलो इज गेसेस estimate and quantities. So त्यस्तो प्रकारले you should not teacher should not confine to only this much only. You can encourage student to draw different containers that are used to store water at home and ask which container hold more or less water and why. And as I said, there is also good to know ma हाम्रो ब्याम्बू उहिलेको मान्छेहरूले पानी लिँदै गरेको so they will know the value of water. The children will know. Then the subtopic, there is another subtopic called Furva as a character who comes from South Sikkim where there is acute water problem है. South Sikkim मा एकदमै पानीको प्रब्लम छ र त्यहाँनिर वाटर ट्याङ्क राखिरहेको एउटा illustration not to forget है. Illustration बाट पनि children will learn visually they will have make the teaching very vibrant. So when you look into all this it will also lead to ESD like reflecting on value. But finally, when you come towards the subtopic wasting water and animals need water too at page number 82 and 85, here we are not moralizing. भनेको मतलब कि don't waste water, है, these are the way to save water भनेर हामीले कहीँनिर मोरलाइज गरेको छैन यो स्किल्सलाई डेभलप गर्नको लागि. तर त्यहाँ दुईटा पिक्चर दिएको छ. एउटामा चाहिँ पाइपले है गाईलाई धुइराखेको छ, अर्को चाहिँ बकेटको पानी लगाएर एनिमललाई वाश गरिरहेको छ र नानीलाई क्वेशन सोधिरहेको छ कि can you suggest which is the best way to save water? So children have to think. So acquiring knowledge, right? Thinking critically when it develops, then only children will respond. And finally, we have spoken about animals need water too. So in animals need water too, children are asked questions which will lead to voicing opinion and they will be sensible. And the ESD competencies like facing the future, that there was one question, some animals, they do not live with us, are not given water by anyone. where do they get water to drink? So it will lead to this ESD competency, and even the same skill will also be mapped. So as I said, teacher can go beyond this activity which are suggested in the textbook. And again, I would like to tell you that do not think that we are burdening the chapter. Take it very lightly. These are the objective. With this, we have to proceed with the lesson. So I have come to almost conclusion. So here are a few points that I would request teacher to remember while classroom ma jannu bhanda agadi ki children learning experiences should be used to create environment for brainstorming and discussions. Allow children to talk, discuss while doing activity. Be flexible in your approach. Kunai strategy, kunai teaching learning work gardenam, you plan for another one or switch another one. Be practical in your planning. Ask question to children. Questioning not only develops confidence in children, but also develops analytical and critical thinking. So with this, I end my talk on 2 chapters from the theme Food and Water. And again, there is one information. You need to visit to the website www.scrtsikkim.com. किन भन्दा तपाईहरुले अस्तिको कलमा you were saying कि you have not received the textbook. So once you go to this website, you can go to doc and publication भनेर क्लिक गर्नुहोस् त्यहाँनिर आइकनलाई र यसलाई क्लिक गर्दाखेरि you will get whether you want to download the textbook or whether you want to download the unit plan. So with this, I would like to end my talk. Thank you all.